Hi friends. In this Hi friends. In this video we will concentrate on concentrate on functions. Function is nothing but it is an activity where we can call a procedure, where we can implement our custom logic. Similar to your concurrent program, when you want to do something through the PL SQL, what we do, we create a concurrent program with executable PL SQL stored procedure, and where we can't call functions, right? In the similar way, if you want to call any procedure, we will be going for the functions. Functions in the sense, I'll show you here. I'll open the previous workflow which we have developed. And I have added one more function here. I would like to add one more function here. See here, I want to assign some values to attributes. How can I assign in the workflow? By means of functions. So in order to call functions, we need to create a function like this. Click on like this, and you need to display name. You need to use display name like this. Description, anything you can give, but here the function type is PL SQL, and here packaged procedure or just procedure we can call. In this way, we can call a procedure from the Oracle workflow. In order to call a function, a procedure from the Oracle workflow, there are 4 mandatory parameters. One is item type, which is an in parameter, and second one is item key. It is also in parameter. Third one is act ID. It is also in parameter. And the fourth one is func mode. It is also in parameter. And last one is result out. This is out parameter. These are the 5 mandatory parameters has to be used when you want to call a procedure from the workflow, like your out parameters in your PL SQL program when you want to call it from the Arc Labs. Error buffer and red code, similar to that, but there 2 are out parameters, and here 4 are in parameters and 1 is out parameter. These are the 5 parameters you need to use in the procedure which you are calling. If you are using this particular one, here the func you are using, this particular func should have how many parameters? 5 parameters. 4 input parameters and 1 out parameters. Let us open the func once. See how many parameters it has? 5 parameters. It is not a, it is a function, but you can't call function from the workflow like your Oracle Labs. It is invalid. It won't work even if you have a return type. So function is not available, is not going to work. You have to call indirectly. You need to create a procedure first, then you need to call a function in that if you want to have a functionality. Now let us discuss some example. Here what I want to do is I want to assign a value. In the previous video we have run this workflow, right? Let me open that particular workflow once. Now I'll tell you the requirement. When you run this workflow, see here, all are coming default values, but date is not coming default value. We need to give externally like this. I don't want to do this. I want to assign automatically, not from here or not from the workflow builder. We can't assign from the workflow builder, it is obvious. But here manually I don't want to give here. I want to assign it because it is a sysdate, right? I want to assign it automatically. What should I do? Before going to the notification, I want to assign that value, assign this attribute value. Then how can I do it? First you need to create a function like this. Create function. Here I'm writing here assigning attributes. Assigning attributes. Here also assigning attributes. And here also assigning attributes. Here I need to give the function name. So I don't have a function name. That's why I'm giving the dummy function name. It is a procedure. It should be a procedure name, but name it is mentioning that function name. Don't confuse here. You can't call the function from the workflow builder and from the Oracle Labs also. You have to use here procedure or a packaged procedure. Only 2 ways you can use here. I'm using here dummy procedure, which is there in the database. Now here place, drag and drop your function here. like this. Now go to this function and go to this particular notification. Now the connectivity is completed, but still you have not written any logic here to assign the value to the date attribute. How can we do it? We need to call a procedure where we need to have all these 5 parameters. That is mandatory. Let us try to create it. And once we create it, we will see what are item type, item key, act ID, func mode, result out. Everything we will discuss. First, I would like to implement it. How can I implement? Create it, create or replace procedure, procedure name XX, AP hold, AP hold, assign. So what are the mandatory parameters? Just now I covered. First one is item type. It is a in parameter and varchar2. What is the next? In parameter, mandatory parameter, item key. We will see the importance of all these things. But before that, I want to write a program. Then you can understand in the next video very easily. And act ID in, it is a number. And fourth one is a func mode. This is the most important input parameter. It has around 9 to 10 modes. We will discuss about it very clearly in the next video. And fifth one is result out in varchar. It is not in parameter, is out parameter. No copy I'm using just for performance purpose. Now, what is the purpose of this particular function? You want to assign a value to whom, which attribute you want to assign. This is an attribute. To this attribute, I want to assign a sysdate, today's date. That's it. How can I do it? How can I do it? First, I want to set. There is an API called WF engine. There is a procedure called, in the WF engine, we are having one procedure called set item attribute text and date. Set set item attribute. This is what we have in this procedure. This is a procedure which is used to set the value. Set the value of. We have already covered this one. How to set a value. How can we set? By using this particular procedure, package procedure. So what is the item type? This is item type, right? What is item key? This is item key. What is attribute name? Which attribute you want to assign? This is attribute. Internal name is required. Next, what is the value you want to assign? Sysdate. That's it. That is what you need to. But when you call this procedure, how can you get item type without these parameters? Just think about it. The importance. In order to assign, in order to get the which item type we are accessing, that we will be getting from here. And at a time, two persons have clicked this same workflow. How can we differentiate between the two workflows? By using item key. And in the same workflow, we are having 10 procedures. How can you differentiate it? By using act ID. In this particular one, there are four procedures. Here, only if you use item type and item key, then how can you differentiate both of them? Means this is only ID which will differentiate between the procedures in the same item type. And we'll discuss about these two a later point, but you should understand these three at this point. Item type, in order to get item type of this particular workflow, of the current workflow, we use this in parameter. And item key, in order to get the current workflow item key, we will be using in parameter. Third one will be the ID which is given to the each procedure call. For each procedure call, ID will be given to this particular procedure. And func mode has 9 modes. We will discuss about it. Result out also we'll discuss it. It has 5 modes, 5 output results. We'll discuss later point. Now, in order to get this one, once you get it, you try to assign it to a variable L item type. It is a varchar to 360. Assign it to item type. Next, item key also. In the similar way, try to use it. Item key varchar. It is a item key. Now here I want to assign here to this particular procedure. First input parameter is item type. Second parameter is item key. And third one, a name means attribute name. Attribute name in the sense, what is attribute name you want to assign? Date. It is an internal name, not display name. And what you want to display here, what you want to assign here? To char, because we are having format dd mon yy. That's why I'm using to char. To char sysdate comma dd mon yy. Now it is completed. Your procedure have been completed. Now click on. So your procedure have been saved into the database successfully. What you need to do when you create an executable, what you will do in the execution file field, you just place your procedure or package procedure name, right? Similar to that, go to the function which you have created, place your function name. That's it. Apply. Validate it. Go to file. Verify. Okay, fine. Go to file. Save as apps this. Now how to know how we would know whether the date value is assigned or not? In this particular notification, in this body, in this particular notification, corresponding notification, in this message, if you can see here, body date parameter we are printing here, right? So you will understand here whether this particular date is assigned or not. Just try to submit the workflow. What is the workflow name? This is a workflow name. You just give 40 as item key, this user key, and I'm not giving the date here. I'm giving here C black. You click on this one also we will handle in the next video. So it is completed. This particular field has to be given by whom? Supervisor, not by us, but for testing purpose I'm giving. Just submit it. Click on OK. Now go to which person it will go to. The notification will fire to whom? C Brown and operations. To both of them it will be fired. It is fired today, and you can see here what is the date you have got here. So in this way we can assign the values by using function. Not only assigning the values, if you want to perform any task, you have to use these are the 5 parameters as a mandatory. Item type means, see here, when we kick the workflow, when the transition comes from here to here, what would happen? The item type and item key, item type or item key will be assigned. Along with that, when the procedure called act id will be generated by the RKL and will be assigned to this particular procedure only. For example, you are having one more procedure here, say third procedure here, fourth procedure here, fifth procedure here. All these 4 will have item key and item type same, but how can you differentiate within this workflow? By using act id. That is a differentiation. That point is very important. Act id is a unique id provided by the RKL for each procedure in a given type. It is just simply sequence. So hope you got the basic idea of this particular topic. In the next video, we will see each and every function provided by the RKL, and we will see how we can use them. See, we are having standard functions which are provided by the RKL. See, this is your item type. This is your item type. Under this item type, this is the function which you have created now. Now, if you go to standard one, under functions, you are having around 25 functions provided by the RKL. In the similar way which we have discussed, if you take end function, copy paste here, just click on this particular one. See here, you have created here the function which is calling is this one. This is a procedure, not function. The name you are calling it as function in this particular workflow. That's it. Here when you open it, if you see what are the mandatory parameters, just now I have discussed, there are 5 mandatory parameters. Whether you create or Oracle creates, it should have how many parameters? 5 parameters. Otherwise it won't work. You take any function provided by Oracle, you just take assign also, you take compare text also, anything you take, go to assign. See here, what is the workflow function name you are having? This is a function, this is a procedure name. What are the parameters? It has 5 parameters. And if you take anyone compare text also, you can take compare text also, compare text, any function used in the workflow that will have what? These 5 parameters. These 5 parameters are mandatory parameters, whether you create it or whether Oracle creates it. And as these are our standard, like these are nothing but APIs. How we use APIs in the similar way, we will use functions here. That's it. These are Oracle provided functions. That's it. By dragging and dropping, we need not to implement all this code for end operation, for join operation, for assign operation, for compare text, date, and end. If you see your start also a function. See here, start also a function, and your end is also a function. I mean, function name means procedure. In the database language, it is a procedure. In workflow language, it is a function name. In the next video, we will discuss about first what is the importance of these 5, and what are the modes operated in the func mode and result mode briefly. Then we will discuss each and every all possible functions available Oracle provided. All functions provided by the Oracle. Possible functions we will discuss. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hi friends, in last video we have discussed about basic information of the functions, workflow functions. In terms of workflow, we call it as function, but internally we are calling a procedure. Let us open this procedure once, paste F4, and you will see this is the definition which we have created. What we are doing here, we are setting the date attribute before going the notification to the C Brown and operations. The role which is attached to this one is a supervisor attribute. And in this particular procedure, we are having what are the mandatory parameters. In parameters are item type, item key, act ID, func mode, result out. And the first 4 are the input parameters, and last one is the out parameter. It is similar to your error buff and red code. Red code means it will return the code. Error buff means it will return the whether the concurrent program is completed or with is there any error. We will find out from the error buff. Error code will return 0, 1, 2. Similar to that, result out also returns something. We will discuss now in this video. Now we will discuss all these 5 parameters once, then we'll go to the practicals. Now let us see. First parameter is item type. In this particular workflow, this is a workflow which we can run. This can be run from by multiple users. Then how they would know this particular workflow current run is for which user? It is based on your item key. Item type means which workflow we are using. That is the internal name of the item. Item key means for the current, it is a string to uniquely identify the item type instance. So this item type used by user 1, then it's definitely that particular user should give the item key to identify that particular item instance is belongs to that particular user. These two are, you know it very clearly. And the act id, it is given by the oracle. It is the id of the activity from where the procedure is called. Here I told you in the last video also, this is a procedure where which we are calling, and this is a second procedure. Here also we can call the procedure, here also we can call, here also we can, here also. There are 4 plus 4, 8 procedures are there. Then how the system will identify for a particular item type, for a particular item key, for this particular procedure, it will give the id. That is called act id. So id of the activity from where the procedure is called. For each procedure call, the oracle gives a unique id. Coming to func mode, this is the execution mode of the activity. In this particular workflow, this is activity, this is also activity, this is also activity. All are activities. All are activities. And all activities will have certain modes. In which mode they are running, that will be decided by which parameter? Func mode. We are not going to assign anything. The oracle itself, based on your input, func mode will be assigned. The possible func modes for the functions, here you can see in this workflow builder, what are the things you can see? Functions, these are all functions. If you open here, you can see here function, right? It is a function, and this is a notification. In the notification also you can call a function. You can see here every notification have a field called function. This is a function. And if you want to know the func mode for the function, then the possible func modes are run, cancel, retry. In this diagram, this particular function will have run, cancel, and third one is retry. These are the three possibles of func mode. We will discuss everything very clearly, how we can reproduce those func modes. And coming to notification, once the notification is reach out, it will be by default it will be in the run mode. We will see how it will be. Then it can be have a nine possibilities of the func modes. For the notification, we will be having 9 func modes. For the functions, we will be having 3. Of course, skip is there. Skip is not going to cover. It is not a valid as far as my knowledge. And the notification have the 9 func modes. Func modes. So if the notification having result type, without result type, always the func mode will be run. That means here when you open the notification, you are having result type, right? If you don't have this result type, then if it is none, for example, if it is none, then it will be having always run. The func mode will be always run. And if the result type is, if the notification has a result type, the notification has result type, then the possibility function modes are respond, validate, run. When the notification is forward, then forward to another user. The notification is, this particular notification is forward to another user, then the mode of run is forward. If it is transferred to another user, then the func mode will be transfer. If the notification is moved to another person asking for more information, then it will go into question func mode. And if the person who got that particular notification, if he answers for this question, that particular, then the func mode will be answered. If the particular notification is not responded for a given time period, based on the timeout, then the notification status, the func mode will be timeout. And the cancel we will be having when we skip it or when we retry it. Or when we re-execute the notification, then we will get the cancel. We will see one by one how these will work when these will comes into picture. And understanding of this status is very important in order to restrict the user entries. Say for example, I don't want to skip this particular here. This particular notification is going for 2 users. If it is not approved, sometimes this can be skipped to this step. So I don't want to do that. Then I should know the status of this notification. That is possible by this particular 9 only. And I don't want to move the I want to send the notification to the other guy when the notification is not responded for 2 days. Then how would I know? First I should know the status of this notification, then I can perform something. So in order to restrict or in order to have a control over the each and every activity, in order to have the control over the each and every activity, we use func modes. And if the user made any mistake in the notification, if he is wrongly entered, or if you don't want to if you want to restrict some access to the user, then that can be achieved once you get the func mode status. Otherwise you can't. So this is having very important place in this particular workflow. And last parameter is result out. Result out is exactly works as your error buff or red code. If you want to complete your workflow, you have to use complete. If you want to defer your workflow, you have to use deferred. And if you want to error your workflow, your activity, it may be a function, it may be of your notification. Yes, you can use error. And notified and waiting we will not use, but in our sessions we will try to cover complete and deferred very clearly with some examples. And this is the end of the video. Please watch coming videos for understanding about notifications and functions, func mode, and result out parameters. Thanks for watching. Hi friends, in this video we will work on result out parameter. What are the possibilities we are having for the result out parameter? A are complete, waiting, deferred, notified, error. And in this course we will cover complete, deferred and error. And waiting and notified are going to be used by the standard activities, not required for us in development. In this video we will work on complete. What is meant by result out? When you call a procedure from the workflow, it will have any kind of result. Based on that result, if you want to change the direction of your workflow, then we will be going for result type. First we will see what without result type, then you'll understand the concept of result out. For that, I'm creating a workflow, a standalone workflow. Just go to open. First, what we need to do, we need to open the location where WF folder is exist in the Aura home on data US. Here WSTD will be there. WSTD, yeah, WFSTD is there. So now save as. Save as. What is the file name we have? We want to have XX func modes or result out, or else functions. We are discussing about functions, right? Functions topic in the workflow. That's why I'm naming it as XX functions. Save. Now here on the standard one, I am creating a new item type called XX item XX function. Click on OK. Now new item type has been created. Now here we are having all the attributes, all the components of the workflow. Now what is my requirement is, first without any result of a given activity of a given function, we will see now. So now what we will do is, just I want to send a notification to the person, a performer. That's it. That is your requirement. You know very well, right? Just click on a message first, create a message, XX MSG to performer. You can give any name here. Message to performer. What is the body you want to have here? Hi. I want to have plain text only, but in HTML body. Hi. BR. BR. This is the demo workflow for functions. BR. BR. Thanks. Oracle team. Just apply it. Messages have been created. Now, do you have any result here? If you want to have a result here, yes, you can have by creating what? This message has no result type. If you want to have a result type, you need to create what? A lookup. But we are concentrating on functions now. That's why I'm not giving any result type to the message. And now I'm creating a notification. What is the notification? XX message to performer notif. Okay, I want to have the same name here. Here also same name. What is your message? This is a message what we have. Click on apply. Now create a new process. XX process XX message to performer proc. I want to have same name here also. Here also apply. Now go to process. First, what we need to do, place your, go to standard one, place start and end like this. Once you place it, then place your notification, because you are sending the notification to the a person. Simply you are sending, and here you need to give what, performer. In the node, here you need to give the performer. Okay, so here I want to create an item attribute. I want to give a, take an item attribute, go to attribute section. Here performer, I'm taking the name as performer. Here I'm taking text only, no issue here. And here I'm giving here operations. Okay, now what would happen here, this start node we need to give as start, and this end node we need to give what, end. This is a simple workflow we have. You want to send the notification to person whom, performer, right? Now workflow is complete. In order to understand result out, first we need to create a function without any result type. Let us see how we can use. Here I don't want to use here, I don't want to assign the performer value here. I don't want to assign the performer value here. I want to assign this particular value in the function before going the notification to the notification. Before going to the notification, I want to get that value. I want to get that value. How can I get that value? Here I'm giving the example, assign the performer to the notification, and value should come from the lookup. Here what is our intention is, I want to create a function that will assign the value to the performer. So for that we need to have a lookup, right? So we will go to application developer for creating that. For that we are going to application developer for creating the lookup. See, for understanding the functions with result out, you need to understand this concept, because sometimes we will get the values from somewhere in the Oracle labs. It might be from the lookup, it might be from your PO details. It depends on, it depends. Just I'm using here, go to application lookup. You can use application object library. Here just use x6 performer, type as x6 performer, meaning as also same. And application you can take here purchasing. Here you can take here, in the real time you need to take here a custom application name. It should not be a standard one, and the code is, you take one, meaning is performer one. Description is whom you want to send operations, tag is nothing. Tag is, you want to have xx performer. The tag I want to have here is xx performer. So now let us see where this information stores in the database. So the user maintaining the performer information in the lookup type is xx performer. The table which affects is fnd lookup values, where lookup type is equals to XX performer. Look up type, lookup type. Right, perfect. So here we got right. So what in the which field you are having a description, you are having the user information, and the description you are having, in the description you are having your user information, and in the tag you are having, in the tag, if you see, in the tag you are having this one, this is also same. Okay, so now observe here, you are getting value from this particular lookup, and see here, what is enable flag? It must be enabled, right? Without enabling this one, you can't